Welcome to my website, Remember Star Trek, and welcome to Trekkie Tracker, which is a fantastic new application I've been developing over the last 3 years in order to not only be able to watch everything about Star Trek that I love, but to also remember Star Trek. So we're talking about watching and remembering. And we're talking about a very, very long series. Like Star Trek's been running since William Shatner back in the 1960s when I was still just out of nappies. And I remember it then, and it's still running now with such amazing series like Strange New Worlds, which just finished. So, today's modern world, we don't have DVD sets, we don't have boxes of videos. How do you keep your Star Trek collection? And more importantly, how do you remember your Star Trek collection? Well, here's the solution, and it's called Trekkie Tracker, and it even comes complete with the Star Trek theme music. If you want to keep it on in the background, it's up to you. So what is Trekkie Tracker, and why do we want to watch and remember everything that we see on Star Trek? Well, for one thing, it's almost impossible over a period of weeks and months, let alone over a period of years, to be able to keep track of what you've watched. What episode of Deep Space Nine am I up to? Did I watch the last episode of Next Generation? You'd never guess that Star Trek The Next Generation was my favourite series, would you? Anyway, what about short treks? When did I watch all of those? What happened in episode 6 of Short Treks? So this is a database, basically, but it's a very fancy database. It keeps a record of everything you watched and when you watched it, the date you watched it, the time you watched it, and you've got a complete database record which is shared with all of the users here on Trekkie Tracker. It's a web-based application. It's about to be released on Android and iPhone, and it is shared with all Trekkie Tracker fans that subscribe to Trekkie Tracker. And the best thing is, for the time being, Trekkie Tracker is completely free. Both the web app and the Android app and the iOS app. You just join up using your Google account, you log in with your Google account, and you're in, and you're using it. And then suddenly you're going to be able to view all the statistics that you've ever wanted, like what you've been watching at the moment. So 22 whole series I haven't watched, but I've watched 2 programs, and I'm watching another, and we can see what is completed, which is the blue area. You've got many different graphs and statistics, the different program types. This is divided into the movies. All 13 of the movies are here, and you can keep a record on them, whether you watched them, what you thought of them. There are the documentaries that have been released over the years. Virtually all of them are here, and I'm going to talk to you about virtually all of them in a minute. Even the material that was released on Blu-ray, the value-added material that used to come in the DVD box sets, that's all here as well. And of course, not to mention, you can track all of the series, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, even things like the Chronicles, the Lower Decks, the Short Treks, the After Treks, the after show episodes, all of the after show episodes. So you can go and see all the ready rooms with Will Wheaton. Everything here in the database. You record them as you watch them. There are 2 very, very important screens in Trekkie Tracker. Firstly, let me take you to the bridge where you're the captain. You keep your personal logs here on the bridge, and it keeps a running record of what you've watched, the series you've watched, and what you're currently watching, and it indicates how many hours you've spent watching it and when you watched the last program. In very new versions to be released very soon, because this is now a fan-based shared application, there'll be more statistics on the left of the screen which indicate what everybody else is watching, the most popular show at the moment, everybody's favourite, recommendations. And what's more, even though I've spent 3 years collecting all this material together, it's almost impossible to keep up with all of the shows that are on Star Trek. So I've created a very special database called My Treks. And My Treks is shared by all of you, all of the fans, and you literally add a new Trek to your list when you want, and everybody else can see it and find it and watch it as well. So for example, I've created my master code, if you like, called Simon My Treks, and at the moment I've added one program in there which was a show called The Making of Star Trek, the motion picture. I can go into that, and then I can even take you straight to the internet, literally to the Memory Alpha screen that'll tell you all about The Making of Star Trek, the motion picture, which contains all the links to the show. By the way, when you're in here, every single program that you explore, let's for example say we go into, let's go into Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And let's look at the episode A Man Alone in Season 1. I can take you straight into a review of Man Alone from that episode, and you can review all the details thanks to our guys at Memory Alpha with a direct access and direct link straight into it. So it's an interactive database. It's your record of what you've watched and how many times you've watched it, and even if you watch it multiple times, in statistics you can look at your total watch time by whether or not you watched it multiple times or whether you watched it once. So at the moment I've recorded a series of shows that I've only watched one time, which is 9 hours worth of watching, and then multiple times I've watched 5 hours. And in the future you'll be able to click into these statistics and go to those shows. So the bridge, you know what's going on. You're the captain there. Watch and Remember is your database. Whenever you want to go back and you want to look for something, what was that in New Worlds? What did I watch? There it is, Strange New Worlds. All the episodes you watched, the notes you made about it, Spock Amok, tongue-in-cheek Vulcan body swap romance, great fun, you've all seen it. And so it keeps all the dates when you watched it and everything. Trekkie Tracker is going to be the app that Star Trek fans have been waiting for literally decades, and it's available now. I've spent 3 years putting this application together, and I can guarantee you this is going to be fantastic. And if you want to get another preview of it, you will find me on the Star Trek cruise in 2023, where I will be presenting a small demonstration on Star Trek Trekkie Tracker as well. And if you want to try it right now, you can literally, when you log into my website, which is right here. So if you log into Trekkie Tracker, log into rememberstartrek.com, which is my website, you press Watch and Remember, and then you will be into Trekkie Tracker and you can use it right now. If you haven't logged in before, you simply sign in using your Google account. Sign in with Google and you're in. It's completely free. It's completely available. It's completely beta version, so things may not always work 100% as they should, but you're at the beginning of your own 5-year mission to create the best database that will allow you to watch everything on Star Trek and, most importantly, to remember it.